Yahoo Fantasy Baseball 2010, Tucson Toros Group, Week 4. We're going to take a look at Twice as Nice in the battle with Otis and the Drunks. Looks like the final score shook out 7-3 in favor of Twice as Nice. Twice now sits second in the standings, 25-12-3, while Otis and the Drunks starting to slip after a fantastic start, picking up a win over the defending champ. Now sits 18-21-1 overall. So still some struggling there, but definitely hanging in there mid-pack. Otis is still mixing it up. Twice as Nice swept the pitching categories and then gave back 3 of 5 in offense. Only picked up 2 offensive points, but it was enough obviously to take the win, especially with a sweep of pitching in rather dominant fashion. Looks like 7 wins and 3 saves with a decent ERA and WHIP for Twice. Very dangerous pitching staff. When they're on, they're going to beat you. Otis had a very, very bad ERA, 6.35. So even with, Twice maybe having a couple of players that weren't so good as far as ERA goes, he had to basically overcome, or that team had to overcome, Ricky Nolasco, Jake Peavy, and Max Scherzer, all having really rough weeks as far as ERA and outings go, just in general, and didn't matter because Otis posted such a high ERA. There was plenty of room for error there as far as Twice goes. Otis's pitching was rough because Trevor Hoffman got rocked. It was also a really bad week for Josh Beckett and Mark Burley. Those guys have been really rock solid to open the season for Otis. Didn't really come back with anything this week. Twice as Nice got 2 wins and 19 Ks from Francisco Liriano. Surprise, I guess you could say a surprise story of the season. Francisco Liriano, who was a beast pitcher a couple seasons ago, but has suddenly found his stuff again and is looking fantastic. A 0 ERA from 3 closers to go on top of that. When you got closers and they're not giving up runs, they're doing exactly what you put them on the roster for. They're piling up saves. They're not inflating your ERA, and that's the most important thing. I also got 2 wins from Wade Davis. Great source there from the young pitcher. Great source of wins there. On the offensive side, Twice as Nice had 4 home runs from Robinson Cano. That was the difference in the home run battle. 9-5 was the final score in home runs. Robinson Cano alone picked up that win for Twice as Nice, which is kind of ironic if you ask Otis, because Otis, being a big-time Yankees supporter, got beat by a Yank. Looks like Chris Snyder is filling in really well on the Twice as Nice roster in the catcher slot. He's basically got a part-time role until Miguel Montero comes back for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Snyder's really contributing. Anybody who's got Snyder on a fantasy roster is very happy with the results, and you can definitely say Twice as Nice is happy to see decent results from a person who had to be picked up off the waiver wire to fill a hole quickly. Brett Gardner was the bright spot for Otis, led the team in runs, added 2 steals, and hit .375 average, which allowed, in the overall, allowed Otis to take 3 out of 5 on the offensive side. So kind of an unusual source to be picking up such great stats compared to the rest of the roster that Otis has, but definitely nice to see. Definitely want to see that production from your B to C level players. Twice is still undefeated. Faces undefeated Tucson's Prettiest next week. That should be a big-time matchup. We'll see what happens with Twice as Nice definitely managing that roster, staying on top of things on a daily basis, whereas Tucson's Prettiest hasn't made a single move, hasn't done anything to the team, still undefeated anyway. So a couple different philosophies are going to clash next week. And then Otis has now lost 3 straight after picking up that win against the defending champ, has slipped to 11th in the standings. Key matchup against AZ Padres this coming week. It'll be very interesting to see who shakes out on top on that one. Otis is trying to bounce back, has made some changes. AZ Padres has also made some changes. It'll be really interesting to see who comes out of the top in the middle of that dogfight.